This is Mirabella's kitchen, and today I'm making gumbo. And if you're thinking, hey, haven't you already made gumbo? You'd be correct. I learned how to make gumbo while I was in New Orleans last year, and I wanted to share with you my new and improved gumbo recipe. This is also the last video I have left that was filmed in my old apartment. I recently moved and am still working on one of my other life goals, so thank you so much for your patience while I took this last month off. I'm giving my dogs some celery, they love it. And if you'd like to cook with me, please check the description below for a list of the ingredients and a shout out to my patrons. I have my Holy Trinity, my Pope, and some green onion prepared to start doing some slicing and dicing. I take 3 stalks of celery to equal about 1 cup of celery and cut it up. I take 1 medium green bell pepper and dice it to have about 1 cup of bell pepper. I take my green onion and I slice it. This comes to about 1 total cup of green onion, and I set this aside for later. And I take 1 large white onion and I dice it. I come out to having 2 cups of onion. And I take about 3 to 5 cloves of garlic and mince it to equal 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. I cut up 1 pound of andouille sausage into coin shapes. And I also cut 1 to 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs into small pieces. I season with coarse kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper. I have 5 cups of water boiling that I'm adding better than bouillon or chicken bouillon cubes to make some chicken stock. I take 1/4 cup of lard, heat it over medium-high heat, and add in my chicken to start browning it on both sides. Once it easily comes up from the pan, it's good to flip it. Doesn't have to cook all the way through because it will be cooking down in the gumbo later on. I then add in the andouille sausage and let that start to brown. I allow this to brown for about 3 to 4 minutes. Next, I switch to my Dutch oven after setting the meat aside. My Dutch oven is going to be low and slow, but I want a 1/2 cup of lard to melt and get nice and hot, and then add 1/2 cup of flour in. This is going to be a roux. So it starts out as a very blonde roux, and I'm doing this over medium to medium low heat. I stir continuously and it turns to a light brown, then a caramel, and then it's about a peanut butter color. And this happens slowly. You need to stir continuously. Do not walk away from that pot. And then it's like a Hershey chocolate. And once it gets to Hershey chocolate, I add in my vegetables. So I add in the peppers, the celery, the onion, and I stir that all together and get it nice and tender. Let this all cook through. I then add in the garlic, and I forgot to film it because I forgot to put it in on this run, but I add in 2 bay leaves. So I let the vegetables start to soften, and then I add back in the chicken and the sausage. And I slowly add in the chicken stock, a few ladlefuls at a time, and stir everything together, letting it get thick. It will thin out because it is 5 cups of liquid that's being added in. And I'm going to let this cook low and slow. After it comes up to a boil, I reduce it to a simmer and cook this for at minimum 1 hour, but ideally you cook this slow and slow over the course of a day. Once these white bubbles are completely gone, that's how you know the flour is completely cooked and it's good to go. So it can take an hour or more. So that's a good gauging point. I was cooking this with a lid on. Once I removed it, I gave it a nice stir. 10 minutes before serving, I add in the green onion and let this cook down a bit more. I have some white rice going on the stove as well. I take about a cup of white rice, add it to a bowl, and then I scoop in a little bit of everything along the sides of the rice. You can put it right over the rice, whatever you prefer. And honestly, this gumbo recipe is the best gumbo recipe ever. I add a little French bread with it, and that is my gumbo. Thanks so much for joining me today. I make new videos on cooking every Thursday. Please support me on Patreon and on Facebook at Mirabella's Kitchen.